What's up guys, it's Jacob and I am back today with another video in my hometown. You can probably tell I am in Victoria right now. The first thing I noticed about being back in Canada is it's actually 8:45 right now and it's super bright out. In Japan, I think the sun sets around 7:30, so it's awesome being home. The sunset isn't until like 9:30 now, I think. And in the middle of the summer, it's not until about 10. There's just a lot less people. Being in Tokyo half of the year is fantastic. I love Tokyo and I love how convenient it is. But to be honest, just having less crowded spaces and like more nature and more, of course, I live near the ocean. Like more things like that. We have mountains. It's much easier to live here actually because everyone is at a much slower pace. Like people kind of sleep early here around 10 or 11 p.m. And in Tokyo, I mean, I don't sleep until like 3 or 4 a.m. every night. And everywhere you go, there's lights everywhere. There's noise and there's people out everywhere. Of course, it's convenient, but to be honest, coming back to Canada, especially in the summer, is so nice and so relaxing, so refreshing. So if you've never been to Canada before, I highly recommend it. I know that because of the enyasu, the yen is really weak right now. It's a little bit difficult for you guys to come over here. But if you ever get a chance, please come to Victoria. I think you guys would really like it. There's quite a few Japanese people here, actually. Studying abroad or working holiday. It's easier for Japanese people to come to than America, just because people here tend to be a little bit politer, a little bit nicer. The hospitality is a little bit better than in the States or in America. Of course, I do miss Tokyo a lot. I miss going out with my friends, and again, everything is so convenient. Like here, stuff closes. I think I went to a cafe the other day. They close at 5 p.m. So I was doing work on the computer. I was editing a video like this, and they're like, sorry, we're closing in 10 minutes. Even though I just got there, I had only been there for maybe 20 minutes. I had to leave and do my work at home. So I definitely miss in Japan that everything is open. スタバとか11時ぐらいまでやってるんじゃない？大体。最低10時じゃない？ Like there's a lot of tourists here, but they're all really nice people. It's definitely a nice change of pace. A change of pace just means something different than what our usual daily life is. So my usual life is, of course, in Tokyo. So it's a nice change of pace to come back to my hometown and, you know, just hang out and see my family, see my friends. I actually just was at my dad's restaurant eating the staff meal. なんかまかない食べてて、ほとんど毎日お父さんの店行ってるけど、it's kind of nice because I don't have to pay for food. I'm staying at my mom's house, so of course the rent is better. When I live in Tokyo, I always stay in like アパホテルとか、もう家賃30万以上ぐらいかかるから、it's definitely no pressure being in Canada right now. And next week, I'm going to visit my sister in Calgary. And Calgary is a much bigger city than here in Victoria, but it's still about the same price, so a little bit more expensive than in Tokyo. Victoria has a lot of international students and a lot of old people. So the people who live in Victoria don't really move often. Whereas Calgary is like a really young city, good for people with young families or looking for jobs. And because of that, it's going to be a lot more fun for me to be in Calgary. I can do more business there. There's more stuff to do. Stuff is open later. So I'm very excited to go see my sister. And if you guys checked out the last video, she was actually in my video. We did a kind of podcast type thing. Anyways, I know for you guys, Japanese yen is quite weak right now, so it's difficult to come, and I'm actually a little bit worried. The Japanese yen is getting a little bit too low recently, and if there's not a change from the government soon, like I'm actually worried about Japan's future, to be honest. So one of the reasons I'm in Canada right now is to try to get business going a little bit more over here and not be too focused in Tokyo. Of course, I love Japan and I will do everything I can to keep Japan like successful and things like that. And one of the things I can do is help you guys with your English. I think it's very important for people nowadays to be able to speak English because of the uncertainty of the Japanese yen and the Japanese economy. Sorry, sorry about that. No worries at all. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of tourists around here, so I don't think I'm actually in the way, but she made it seem like I'm in the way. I think it's fine. Anyways, one of the things I think is crazy is that my half Japanese friend, he's born in Canada, and his mom is Japanese, is not able to visit Japan as a Japanese person, which to me is crazy. I went to Japan on a working holiday visa, of course, which is normal. I'm not Japanese. But for someone whose mom is Japanese to be using the same visa as me, who is completely non-Japanese, is a little bit like, it seems strange to me. So I think the people who are born of Japanese descent or Japanese blood, I think they should be able to get a normal passport. I think that would really help the Japanese economy, because when people turn 22, they have to decide whether they want to stay a Japanese national or if they want to choose their other country as their main passport. And every half person that I know always chooses the non-Japanese side because the benefits of living in Canada or America economically are usually better. So I think it's a little bit difficult right now, but that's one of the main reasons the Japanese economy is struggling. And I think there needs to be something done within the next 5 years. I just feel bad for my Japanese friends who are half, because when they go back there, a lot of them don't feel accepted in their companies or in their workplace because they're not full Japanese. And I think that we need a little bit of a change, because, for example, I'm half Canadian, but of course, as a Canadian Vietnamese person, I'm fully accepted by the country of Canada. And I think there needs to be a change to help the economy bounce back in the future. Another one of the things I noticed when I'm in Canada is that I cook way more often. In Japan, it's so cheap to go out. Like, we can still get like gyudon for 700 yen, 600 yen. We have ramen for 800 yen. You can go to Sushiro and it's like 1,200 yen per person usually. But in Canada, we don't have options like that. So cooking or eating at home is usually the best choice. We have a tipping culture here, which can be frustrating sometimes because they kind of started asking for tips like everywhere. It used to be just at sit-down restaurants or like actual restaurants. But now, like, I go to Starbucks and there's a tip option, so I have to go press no, which, like, it's just too much. There's tipping for bakeries and stuff, which they're not actually giving any service. So going out in Canada can be really expensive. I would say the average lunch is probably like 2,500 yen ぐらいかな? Like $25 to $30. So 3,000 もするよね. I actually went out for brunch the other day. I can put the picture of my brunch here. It cost me $32, I think. 考えたらやばいよね。ランチで3,000何 ?600、700円ぐらい? But being in Canada, that's quite standard. So we're talking about like 3 times more, triple the price of eating in Tokyo. So when I hear from my friends like 東京高い高いって言ってる友達は、まあカナダと比べたら全然安いと思うよね。That's just one of the downsides of the costs here, but eating at home is not expensive. So I have been cooking pretty much every day, which is good for me. It's much healthier. I drink a lot less here. もう日本にいる時はめっちゃ飲む。ほとんど毎日飲んじゃう。 なんか飲み会とかもあるから、カナダは飲み会の文化がないので、we don't go out drinking with our coworkers very often. So there's not really any time to go drinking other than with your friends on the weekend or something like that. カナダ人は飲んだらいっぱい飲むけど、カナダ人は結構強いから、10杯とかも飲んじゃう。でも日本にいるときはもうちょっと軽くてよく飲んでる。You know, we drink more often but less amount, I think, in Tokyo. So that means I'm much healthier when I'm in Canada. I cook at home. I go to the gym almost every day here. The gyms are so much cheaper than in Tokyo. The gyms are crazy expensive in Tokyo. Like here, I think you can get a gym pass for like $30. 3000ぐらい。But in Tokyo, it's like anytime fitness でも8000以上だったと思う。That's like もう倍以上だから。It's almost double, no, more than double. So I understand why a lot of people in Tokyo don't go to the gym, and the gyms are much smaller. Like we have a lot more space in the gyms here as well. So I'm just way healthier when I'm in Canada than I'm in Japan. But one of the things I do love about Tokyo is because it's a big city and everyone's working hard and everyone's trying to reach the top, it also pushes me to make more videos or find more business opportunities or think of more shadowing programs or English programs for you guys. Whereas in Victoria, it's a lot slower pace. So it's like, oh, I'll go home, go to bed early, or I'll go to the gym, go to the pool, like relax a little bit more. So I think for me, going back and forth, we say back and forth, 行ったり来たりするって意味. Me going back and forth is actually quite nice for balance, like work-life balance for me. Especially meeting family over here and meeting friends in Tokyo. But yeah, it's definitely great to be home. I'm very excited to visit Calgary, where my sister lives, much bigger city, more stuff to do. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with going back to your hometown every once in a while, for sure. Actually, this is really, really cool. Right behind me, we have a bunch of seaplanes. Here, let me show you. I always forget that other countries don't really have these. These fly between Victoria and Vancouver and also Seattle. Yeah, they're pretty cool actually. My house is just right over there too, on that side. So I see these airplanes every day. You've probably seen on my Instagram story, stuff like that. But this is pretty cool. Anyways, there's no one around. It's like 9:30 right now and it's still, the sun has not fully set yet. It's crazy. Anyways, thank you. I just had a quick chat with you guys about the differences between my life living in Tokyo and living in Canada. If you guys enjoyed the video, please hit the subscribe button. You know I'll be back with more English content, and I'll see you next time. You know who I am.